Yes, you read that title right. In today's episode, the Gibson Fanboy tries out a PRS Silver Sky USA edition for the first time. Although I might be a Gibson fanboy, I'm a massive fan of John Mayer, so I'm beyond excited to get into this video. So without further ado, pour yourself a drink, grab some popcorn, and let's get into this Squealing Pig Guitars video. Hey guitarists, welcome back to Squealing Pig Guitars, the home of luxury drum machines here in Nottingham, England. My name is Ben Keightley and today I'm trying out a PRS Silver Sky USA edition for the first time. Previously, I've only ever played one of the SE versions and I was incredibly impressed with that guitar. But I know that the USA edition has quite a few different specs to look at. So this PRS has come in second hand, so it does have a few dents on it, but it's finished in a lovely tungsten silver, which is this kind of matte colour with the white pickguard and that really nice dark rosewood fingerboard. And it's almost like the Tesla of Stratocasters. And of course, you guys would have seen this Silver Sky on YouTube, dozens of times. It was a very controversial and popular guitar when it got released. I can't wait to show you how this sounds and also run down all the specs of this PRS Silver Sky. So let's not dilly-dally for any longer, let's go into the spec talk and see what makes up this beautiful guitar. So the PRS Silver Sky comes in a multitude of different finishes. As I mentioned, this is the tungsten finish, which is this matted finish, which is very, very nice to see. Very high quality finish all over this guitar. I really like the black backplate as well with the signature and the Silver Sky model. Looking very modern, as I said, very much like a Tesla, and I know that was kind of the intention of John Mayer, was to create colours that look like car colours, just like how Fender did in the 50s and 60s when they would use metallic colours just like the cars of the time. First off, I really like how they haven't put the back cover on, so it's easy to access the springs and there's no screws in there. That's really cool, and this contoured heel. But let's talk about the specs. So we basically have an older body, obviously taking inspiration from John Mayer's favourite 63 and 64 Stratocasters. Essentially, the Silver Sky is a mix between a 1963 Stratocaster and a 1964, taking the pros from both of them guitars. So we have an older body, we've got a maple neck which has some really nice wood grain to it, and then we have a rosewood fingerboard with the bird inlays. Where the vintage elements start on this guitar is all within the radius. We have a 7.25 inch fretboard radius, which is just like the vintage models. A lot of people say it's hard to bend on a 7.25 inch radius, but if I'm being honest, I never really noticed much of a difference. I know someone asked me in the comment section below about the 1957 vintage Fender I played, and said, did you have a hard time playing it? And I just never seem to get bothered by fretboard radius. Let me know in the comment section below, can you feel the difference of fretboard radiuses on your guitars? I'm not meaning from like a 12 inch to a 7 inch, I'm more meaning between like 9 to 7. Can you really feel that much difference? Maybe I'm just not sensitive to it, but let me know in the comment section below. What makes this guitar special is the pickups. These single coil pickups sound incredible. They're never too trebly, they have a nice bass end and a really good mid-range, which is great for soloing. When I plugged this in, I immediately thought it didn't sound like an ice picky Strat. It had the oomph of a really powerful Strat, and one of my students actually brought it up when I was playing it earlier today. But these single coil pickups are basically the 635 JMs, and I believe that name comes from being halfway between the 1963 pickups of the Fender Stratocaster that he played and the 1964 that he plays. Through the amp, I've not noticed any 60 cycle hum or any noticeable 60 cycle hum, and they have a really nice tone. Obviously we'll get to that in a little bit. We then have a 5-way switch with a really nice kind of PRS switch cover there. The output jack is so PRS as it is kind of contoured with the body. We then have these interesting volume and tone knobs, and obviously a 3-ply guard paying homage to his 60s Stratocasters. As I mentioned, obviously we've got a rosewood fingerboard with the white PRS bird inlays and the white side dots. We do have a lacquered finish over this one. I know the SE is a matte finish. This feels very comfortable in the hand, and this is the 63.5 JM profile, which to my hand feels just like a slightly thick Strat profile, very similar to that Masterbuilt Seafoam Green Strat I played a couple of days ago. Really nice and wide, good thickness, it's not a thin neck by any means. Of course, we've got that 7.25 inch radius as I mentioned, 22 frets and nickel hardware. We then have the phase 3 PRS locking system, but with the vintage style look. So obviously it's got the closed back, we've got these kind of plastic buttons, which is not to everyone's taste. And then we have that PRS headstock with the truss rod cover that is recessed. This guitar comes with a premium gig bag. It doesn't come with a hard case, unfortunately, but you obviously do get the trem arm and obviously all the case candy in there. It is a really good gig bag, very similar to the ones that come on the SE models. Very good if you're a gigging musician, but I know if you were, you know, when you pay the money for a PRS, you definitely want that hard case, so it's a little bit of a disappointment they didn't add the hard case in with this one. So that is all the specs of this PRS Silver Sky in tungsten. So without further ado, let's go to the tone demonstration and plug it into the 2-Rock. So guys, welcome to the tone demonstration of this PRS Silver Sky USA edition. It's the first time we've had a USA built PRS Silver Sky on the channel, so I'm so excited to show you this today. Basically, the intro to today's video was my own backing track, but it was a cover of a song called Isn't It Obvious? And basically, John Mayer did a solo for that song. It's a really nice soul track. I'd recommend checking it out. It uses G major and A major, so it just flicks between them two chords. But for that tone, I was using the Vemuram fuzz with a very low level and low fuzz level, and I was also using the tone bypass of the 2-Rock, which means it takes all the EQ out. And essentially, when you hit that on, you just get loads of sustains. Tone bypass off. Tone bypass on. So they were the fuzz tones that I was using on the opening of that track, and I have to say that the whammy bar system is very responsive indeed. It stays in tune fairly well, better than a Strat tremolo, but you can get some really nice kind of effects. That kind of Jeff Beck thing. But first off, these pickups sound huge on this Silver Sky. It doesn't respond like a Strat in the way that you have that plinky plonky type sound. It's a very thick mid-range tone made for soloing. So in this part of the tone demonstration, I'm basically going to simply go through each of the pickup options that you can get on this guitar. Of course, it's a Strat style guitar, 3 single coil pickups and a 5-way switch, so you can kind of expect what tones we're going to get from this. I'm on the lead gain channel still, just with a little bit of hair on the tone, just to give you that kind of Mayer twang. So let's hear the neck position, full volume, full tone. First off, that neck pickup, I'm on full tone, full volume, and it's not that trebly. It's got a very thick tone to it. These single coils are quite quiet as well. When I've got the volume on, you can't really hear much 60 cycle hum, which is a really big plus for these pickups. They're still single coils, they're just made really well, obviously. But yeah, that neck pickup has a lot of oomph, really nice Strat sound, but with a little bit more bass end. Let's hear the second position, which is obviously slow dancing in a burning room territory. Now let's hear the middle position, the gravity position. Some lovely clean tones on that middle pickup, really enjoying it. We'll play one more Mayer tune before going to the Mark Knopfler position. Let's hit that bridge pickup and see if it's ice picky. So not too ice picky at all. Again, has a good mid range, especially if you were to do like kind of funky. Of course, with it being a Mayer guitar, it's obviously made for them lead solos. So let's put on the fuzz tone again and see what type of sound we can get with that bridge pickup. So guys, that is the end of the tone demonstration of this PRS Silver Sky. Let's go to the end of this video where I give my personal review and rating of this PRS Silver Sky guitar. So guys, that is the end of today's video. Before I get into my review and rating of this PRS Silver Sky, make sure to go down on this video and leave your comments in the comment section below. What do you think of this Strat copy? Obviously the Silver Sky is its own thing, but at the end of the day, it's basically a Stratocaster. I've really enjoyed today's review. But before I get into my rating, make sure to leave a like and make sure to subscribe if you're new. YouTube tells us that 70% of you guys are subscribed to the channel, so make sure to hit subscribe and tap the notification bell to be notified when we make a new video. But in today's video, I'm going to be giving the PRS Silver Sky a 7.5 rating. I've decided now to go into decimal places because I rate so many guitars and I want to be kind of more specific with my ratings. So yeah, 7.5 for this PRS Silver Sky. In my opinion, the best thing about this guitar is the sound. If you are a fan of Gibson guitars or guitars that notoriously have more of a lower end response, I think you're really going to like this. It doesn't feel or sound like a Strat per se. It's like a Strat with more balls. It's got a lot more oomph to the sound, a lot more bass end and lower mid-range, which is great for John Mayer's music. Also, when you put on a fuzz pedal, it responds so nicely. It absolutely shrieks, and I think it works really well for my Bloomfield Drive. I'm a big fan with how the neck feels. It's got a nice kind of thick carve to it. My only thing is that I think the guitar aesthetically looks a little bit plastic, especially with the white plastics, the kind of dodgy looking tuners. I'm not really a big fan of that. I do think the finish is really cool, but I think they just missed the mark slightly in making this slightly more high end. I'd love to see the PRS influence on a Silver Sky, maybe a flame top, or you know, it doesn't even need to be figured, maybe just like a flamed maple neck, or something cool with the finish. I just think that it was lacking something a little bit here. However, the neck is sublime. They've got the neck down to a T. The carve feels amazing, the rolled fingerboard edges, that feels amazing. It's more just within the body that I think they could improve it. But the sound's incredible. I think it looks overall decent. And thirdly, obviously it plays amazing, so you can't really complain with that. I didn't notice any difference with the 7.25 inch radius. I didn't have any hard time bending. If nothing, I actually thought it was a lot easier to bend than a normal Fender Stratocaster, so take that with what you will. But yeah, that's my rating today, 7.5 for the PRS Silver Sky guitar. But guys, as I said, make sure to leave your comments down in the comment section below. Let me know what your opinion is of this PRS Silver Sky, and make sure to leave a like rating if you're enjoying these videos. But as always guys, thank you so much for watching Squealing Pig Guitars. My name's Ben Keightley, and I'll see you again for another video very soon. But until then, that leaves you with one last thing to say. Keep rocking guys, I'll see you soon.